Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Marketing Podcast, your source for all things marketing. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I had a guest on in the past, and I liked them so much I had to invite them right on back. So today's special return guest is Alexis Chiagouris, who's Director of Digital Marketing over at Flexera. Alexis, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Adam, for having me back.
So getting the podcast family together again, I'm excited, and I love our show topic today that you picked, which is digital transformation. So I'm excited to have you define what that means to you, of course, because it's a big buzzword out there. But before we do that, I don't want to assume that all of our new listeners caught the first episode. So let's start off with what you're doing over at Flexera. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Okay, sure. So I am our head of digital marketing, but basically Flexera is a software company. We help customers manage their licenses and a lot of in terms of SaaS offerings. So, if you have many different licenses for like an email service provider, for example, that you at a brand are managing a large team and having access. Often big companies like Oracle will come in and audit your licenses. Well, we help automate that process so you don't have to worry so much about it and help you manage that license and how much you're spending. So software asset management is all that we focus on, especially as many customers too are moving from on-premise hosting centers to more in the cloud. So that's really what we do at Flexera. Me on the digital marketing side is managing all of our web properties, if you will. So our website, our community, social, SEO, email, you name it, me and my team manage it.
What are, just for the people listening, what are are there any particular niches or size of company, or what's the right kind of fit typically to be a client over at Flexera?
Yeah, we definitely look at more enterprise type customers. I mean, we definitely have a very targeted list of what we're going after, but really customers that, tend to spend a little bit more in terms of, in generating revenue and whatnot. So, I mean, it's constantly changing, but generally we work with bigger brands because those are the types that do have quite a number of licenses they're managing. And it's across many different sectors as well, too. We have a lot of government customers, CPG and whatnot. So it just really varies.
All right, let's get into today's topic. So digital transformation. Where do you want to start with tackling this one? Adam,
it really is such a broad topic, digital transformation, and it's really such a buzz phrase now because there's really two ways to look at it. At Flexera, we help our customers because they're transforming, and like I just mentioned, a lot of our customers are moving from on-prem to cloud. And that they call that digital transformation, but I really want to focus it from a marketing perspective because when I walked into Flexera about a year and a half now, I was asked to transform the company and how they market in the digital space. And really, I tell this story
after you took a deep breath and said, "Oh, okay, then what happened?"
and like I mentioned on when we first spoke. One of the big things that I was asked to do was to redesign our website because the previous version before I walked in the door was it was a mess. It was so confusing, and there was a guy in a yoga pose. And so it's saying that, yes, it can be this simple because, believe me, not a lot of people understand what software asset management really means. So I tell this story often. My first day, so my biggest task I knew walking through the door was transforming our web presence and also launching a customer community where customers can go to each other to get guidance and help and answer questions and lots of information and open cases. Well, day one, I'm in a planning session for the community, and there's Post-it notes all over the wall, all these different schemas. And by the way, it's all internal folks at Flexera at this meeting. And I'm just sitting there and like, gee, I don't really know a lot yet, so let me just take this all in. And everyone's drawing and putting what needs to be in the community. And I asked the question, well, has anyone talked to a customer? And asked a customer if this would actually resonate. Is this what they're looking for? And everyone looked at me like, who is this woman? So like, we're going to talk to our customer. And I have to tell you, in my career of being in digital marketing for over 20 years now, I would say that is the biggest thing that I have seen, as companies transform from in a marketing perspective. So many don't talk to customers. So actually, we took a step back. What I did is, hey, I'm going to break the silos, and I made a case to our chief revenue officer who was sponsoring the community that we needed to do some customer research online. Like, how, we have customers all over the world. We can't bring them in together like a traditional focus group session, and do online and do some prototype testing and actually talk to them for an hour and understand what are their pain points, what are the benefits and whatnot. And also, by the way, I had zero budget coming in. I had certain dollars for the website, but begged him to give me money for this project too. So, it's so important to break down the silos too and to build that relationship and credibility. And it's so funny. So the prototype we actually tested before launch completely changed based off of the research.
Wow.
I mean, and I show the picture of the evolution every time I speak at events of how important it is to talk to a customer. I mean, yes, I would say I work with so many smart people who have worked at the company for years and understand the products, which, know the ins and outs, but don't understand how to really see it from a customer's perspective. And that's what's so important. And it's something that I sound like a broken record all the time. It's like, let's take the time and the resources and actually test this out before we launch.
I love it, and it's huge. Like the feedback part. It sounds like it's simple, but the good thing about my business is I'm like, I don't normally know what I'm doing. So my podcast guests, the other people that are on, they always are telling me cool things. I'm like, all right, great. That sounds actually about right. So we'll do it. So every good idea I think we've had on the podcast and in my media business has literally been from feedback from either people, from listeners or from guests. So I love it. I'm a huge advocate of what you're saying. So let's just say that, okay, now they've got some feedback. They're starting to build that community. What's the next step for a company, would you say, in that digital transformation?
Well, honestly, my big thing is, like, last year, transformation was all about rebuilding or building, establishing a presence. But for now, for digital transformation, it's for me about actually taking the time to do testing. We invested in some tools to do like A/B testing on our website, which was something that was never even known before to Flexera. No one ever did A/B testing on the website. And it could be as simple as testing like a call to action, the simple copy, even the colors. Again, using that data to help make decisions is huge, because I can't even tell you how many hypotheses that me and my former teams of in my career have been challenged by data. So this is actually a funny story, but about 10 years ago, I worked on the Sprint NASCAR account, and NASCAR fans love so much information, and we used to send a newsletter, and newsletters too used to be like the catch-all of everything. And we were like, is this working? Like, shouldn't we do an A/B test? Because it literally, we printed it out, and I'm 5'5", it was taller than me, all the content. We're like, let's test a short versus long version. So the hypothesis was the short version is going to win. Come on. Actually, the data proves that NASCAR fans like more information and the long version.
Wow.
So, that's why it's so important to do A/B testing, and that's where I'm taking the organization this year. So we've established our presence. We're constantly redesigning and tweaking, but to use actual data and mechanisms, and I have to say there's so many different tools you can use. We use Adobe as our CMS, and we actually have Adobe Target, and unfortunately we haven't even started using it, but that's where we're going into now, is actually going to be doing A/B, testing different versions of copy, testing different colors, like I said, different images, all of those things to use data to support decision making, especially as we transform and become more cutting edge from a marketing perspective.
Oh, I love it. And that's what my team's been bugging me about, is doing some A/B testing. And you're right, and I know, and I'm just like, and I'm like, all right, so we'll start doing it too. Thank you. when I'm sad on the marketing podcast, because now I know, I'm like, okay, I know I need to do it. Thank you.
But it's so funny, like I said, how you can prove yourself wrong with data. And it's actually so important. And one of the things that I'm educating my team too is just being as simple as building that test matrix in Excel. And let's, come together and brainstorm what are the things that we want to learn from our customers. I mean, we don't always have that luxury, like I said, to do online testing. We did when we redesigned the website. Actually, I'm going to be redesigning our website a bit again this summer from a navigation standpoint, but I'm making sure that I am going to test that again to ensure that the navigation structure is correct. But just like, I call it quick and dirty. It's just the ongoing need to constantly do A/B testing, because digital transformation is not staying comfortable. I mean, our world of digital is changing every day, and our customers' needs are changing every day, and we have to keep up with that, or we just become stale.
I love it. So, Alexis, if somebody, first of all, I could talk to you about this all day long, but we're about out of time. If somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Flexera, what's the best way for them to get that info?
I would definitely say go to our website, which is flexera.com, and there's a plethora of information. I mean, we have a LinkedIn presence as well. Me and my team manage, but really, if you want to learn about our company from A to Z, go to the website for sure.
Awesome. Well, hey, Alexis, it's been awesome having you back on this reunion 2020 episode. Excited to have you back in 2021. I'm going to say, all right, so what do I got to do this year now? Okay, I'll do it. Fine. Started the A/B testing, and it works. Thank you for forcing me to be successful. Thank you, Alexis. No, that's awesome. Well, hey, again, really appreciate you coming on the show. To the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. Hope you had a lot of fun listening. We had fun bringing this to you. If you did, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review on the Apple iTunes store. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Marketing, definitely give us a subscribe there. But also let us know what you thought. Love to know what you're doing and what's going on in your world. And Alexis, thanks again for coming back on the show.